Hello there, very good morning. You're watching Proactive London. Joining us, the managing partner of Harmony Capital, which is the investment manager to Jade Road. We've got Suresh Withana. Hello to you, Suresh. How are you?
Good morning, Katie. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. Great to have you with us because you're going to explain this change of name, because now we're talking about Jade Road. Of course, before it was Adamus. Why? What's the reason for this? Take us through it.
Well, the original vehicle was set up almost 10 years ago. It was an investment company focused on China only. Over the course of the last 4 years almost, we've transformed it. We, the new investment manager, have transformed it into a Pan-Asian vehicle. I think the board and us felt that it was a time for sort of a fresh new look at the vehicle, its prospects, its future, and what it really represents. Because what it is really is a unique investment vehicle on the London Stock Exchange, on the AIM market, which connects sort of investors from the West to these SME or small and medium enterprise companies in Asia, which are very hard to find and very hard to access unless you're on the ground like we are. So that's the evolution of where we ended up with Jade Road. And we're very excited that today is the day that we get to launch and rebrand the company entirely.
Excellent. And so for shareholders, this will not make a difference to their investment, I gather.
None whatsoever. It's a rebranding. It's a re-skinning, if you will, of the vehicle. Obviously, the ticker, the ISA numbers, all that kind of technical stuff has all been changed. There's been a lot of work that's gone on in the background, as you can imagine. But really, what this also hopefully signals to the market as well as to shareholders is that it's really a renewed purpose behind the vehicle, and we just wanted to make sure that we stood out and people understood that renewed focus being this Pan-Asian investment remit that I mentioned earlier.
In terms of opportunities, should investors be excited right now?
I think undoubtedly, yes. Interestingly, even today, just this morning, coincidentally, you couldn't script it better, but China has released some new GDP figures that show that it's one of the only countries in the world that's avoided a recession. But what it is symptomatic of is something we've been saying for some time and that we know is actually happening because of our presence on the ground, which is that Asia is recovering quicker than the rest of the world from this terrible pandemic. And the numbers are starting to bear that out. And so I think investors should firstly take Asia very seriously. You never count Asia out. It's the growth engine of the world, and nothing has changed that. And secondly, this vehicle really addresses that sort of sector of the market where finance is hard to come by, which is the small and medium enterprise companies. So we're sort of geared up in a perfect storm, in a sense, and we're really sort of excited about the opportunities that are ahead of us now.
In terms of what these small and medium-sized companies are doing exactly, maybe dissect the sectors for us, if you would. I'm interested to know what exactly is the speciality in this part of the world.
Well, what's very interesting about us is that we set up the vehicle and we've continued to make the vehicle sector agnostic. In other words, we can invest in any sector because we think the opportunities are across Asia geographically as well as across industries. So hence the reason for sector being sector agnostic. That being said, we're seeing a lot of opportunities in places like healthcare, manufacturing, in retail, consumption-driven, sort of both online and offline. And in fact, again, if you look at what's happening in Asia and the bounce back from the pandemic, there's a lot of pent-up demand for consumers who I guess have been sat at home for the last year. So these sectors are all very exciting in terms of opportunities, but generally we are not sector specific, and that's the way we aim to be.
Okay, so it's an eclectic array of sectors. In terms of what's their speciality, what would you say is the strength of doing business in this part of the world?
I think the real strength that, we as a vehicle have is that we have an on-the-ground presence. In other words, we have people, my team is based in our offices in Singapore and Hong Kong. We also have a presence, obviously a big one here in London as well as in Dubai now. But the investment team is very focused, very specialized, and very much, as I said, on the ground in Asia. And I think you need that. You need to be on the ground. I see a lot of funds who are investing in Asia, but from afar, our approach is very different. It's bottom up, and we want to have boots on the ground, so to speak. And that makes us, I think, very effective in finding the right investment opportunity.
Really interesting. Thank you very much. Suresh there with Anna talking to us about Jade Road, the new marketed company as of today.
Thank you, Katie.